and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining today. Today's video is on bad or negative energy that you are picking up on around you. And so this video is going to dive into just getting more information about what that's about. So for group one, we have Worthiness and this golden Mica. Group two, Live Out Loud and Black Tourmaline. For group three, we have Masks and this Polychrome Jasper. And for group four, Pleasure and Septarian. So go ahead and pick your pile using your intuition, and I will see you in your reading. The timestamps will be posted in the description and the comments down below. Okay, hi group one, those of you who picked this golden Mica and Worthiness, this is your reading on bad energy or the negative energy that you're picking up on, and we're gonna look more into what that's all about. So first of all, the sage that I just lit smells so good. I just got a whiff of it, and it's weird because I think it was just a little piece that I burned. It smells so fresh and so good. And it's bringing me to this healing, because I always found sage to be so healing. Something so refreshing. Anyway, so let's get into your reading. Okay, so what is this about? This bad negative energy that you're picking up on. I feel like this is really leading you to a place where you're realizing that it is a time for you to heal. And I think also too, this is big on you knowing deep down that you deserve more. Here we have Worthiness, and then here we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And so this is about self-worth, right? And I feel like, here we have Worthiness, and then this is self-worth, but in a reverse, it's like lacking value or something lacking value. And I feel like there's, with this Union card, and I'm seeing this Unlikely card as well, with something being pulled apart. This is like together and then something being pulled apart. And I'm seeing these two cards as opposites. So there's an aspect of you that feels like worthy, like deep down subconsciously, or maybe your higher, deeper self feels worthy of something else, something more. And when I say something more, it's like something more deeper, something more. I feel like you're not even sure what it is that it is with more, because I'm looking at this Page of Coins, and he has all these books and this high priestess with this laptop where there's all this information that's out there, and it's like something that you want to look into, something that you want to explore, like you haven't quite gotten there yet to know what it is that you're worthy of, or what it is that is calling you in a way. But you just know that there's something right now that isn't sitting right with you, that you deserve more, that you're more valuable, that you're worth more than where you're at, or who you're with, or because with this Union and Unlikely, maybe this is people with this Empress in reverse as well. Maybe this is people that are bringing about these feelings of, you're just catching this negative or this bad vibe. This is reminding me of a situation with somebody last week, and I could just feel like this person was just absolutely, gets on my nerves. I'll just put it like that. This person gets on my nerves. I just catch a bad vibe from them all the time. And I know, like, part of me knows that this is just how they are. And it's very unintentional, but it's just the manner in which they speak. It comes across very condescending. And I think that's, you know, I don't know if other people feel that way, but that's how I would feel. And eventually I had to reject an offer that they had made me, just based on the fact of how I felt. And I felt that I was better than how they spoke. And, I think I got along well with this person, and I think this person was quite confused as to, like, why. But it's just that there was something in me that was like, no, I deserve better than this. And it's nothing major. It may not even be something major for you guys, where, but it's just this feeling inside. And I guess the point that I'm trying to make by saying that is, sometimes the relationships around us, when we're going through this I don't know if it's a transition. It doesn't, this is, I don't want to say that this is a transition. This is like a call. I feel like this is a call to action, with expansive right here. May you connect to the whole. So it's not even just finding wholeness in yourself, but connecting to the whole of the universe and that everything that's around you, and exploring how expansive it really is, how expansive you can really be as well, because here we have conception, right? And I'm thinking of conceiving, and I just heard, whatever your mind can conceive, your whatever can achieve, whatever you can conceive. What's that saying? You guys know the saying, like, whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve it. And I feel like that's what this bad and negative energy is. It's just like something that's within you on a very deep level that's letting you know that no, there's something more valuable that's out there for you. It's like that sense of dissatisfaction. It's like knowing that, here's another example. It's like, how there's hierarchies in workplaces? Say you're like the entry level, you're like the person at the bottom of the totem pole. And so people are going to be directing you at all times for the most part, right? Like they're going to be telling you what to do. And, I could see your group being like, I don't want to be told what to do. I want to, I just want to call the shots of my own life, of what I want to do or how I should get this done, because I'm not a fool. Even if you're new to it, it's like you just want to, like, I don't know, I'm getting this feeling of just wanting to expand and realizing your worth. And then it's like realizing your worth, but being stuck in a situation that is feeding into a lower sense of self-worth. Do you know what I'm saying? And because of that, and it's also triggering you to want to heal some stuff. I'm getting this healing thing with the golden mica, right? It's very good for self-healing and balancing. And I'm getting it with this, it's just something about healing. It's like healing your consciousness, healing your it's like from going to something small to going to something very big, like that's what I'm getting. And you're just gonna feel a negative charge around. I just got, like, I'm just thinking of chemistry, like high school chemistry, where there's protons and electrons, and some are negative and some are positive, and you're just gonna feel repelled, from connections that aren't going to place you at the value that you are. You know what I mean? Like with this worthiness and these unions. So like any people, places, things that don't hold you at that like vibrational level of your true value, I feel like are going to, or not even just your true value. It's that limit the feeling of your expansiveness, because I feel like there's something in you that's wanting to expand, right? That wants to change, that wants to grow, that wants to transform, that wants to conceive, that wants to birth, that wants to create, with the Empress here. And it's something unique, she's holding a baby unicorn. And with this trumpet, I'm getting this like you're being called to, I'm seeing filling all these cups, to fill all these cups. Um, and to make all these changes. And maybe you guys want to study, maybe you guys want to do research, maybe you guys want to learn stuff, and it's like you're this is something that's going to go like one step at a time. But because you're at the beginning of this, right? Like you're at the conception, you're at the point of where you're kind of in between, you're like in the in between, right? Like where there's elements of your life that are from like this time where maybe your sense of self or your sense of self-worth or who you were was much different, than what it is, or what you're being called to it being, to expanding it more into like the fullness of who you truly are. And to really, like, I don't know, I'm getting a whole feeling, a very big wholesome feeling. um like maybe you're realizing that you're part of a whole, that it's not just you with union right here, that you're connected and tied to the whole, the whole of society, the whole of a group, the whole of the universe. Maybe there's something very spiritual or something deep, um, and that there's more. That there's more as well. Like I'm getting that with this computer, and somebody who just sits on a computer and lives in a virtual world, and I'm thinking of Plato's, allegory of the cave, and they're like, these people in a cave, and all they see are shadows, and they think that the shadows are what's real, and they don't realize that there's a world out there that is a lot more than what they think it is. And then one of them, the prisoners, I don't know if they're prisoners, but I think they're chained or whatever, they end up going outside into the light, and he comes back and tells all the other ones that there's this whole world and that the shadows aren't real. There's those shadows are just projections of what is actually real. And of course, none of them want to believe him, right? Like they just think he's nuts. And so I feel like this is, very much relevant to to you guys' reading on what this means. Um, uh, and I just lost my thought. So, to bring it all together, because I feel like we went all over the place a little bit. So this bad or negative energy that you're picking up on, I think it's because you're elevating, from one level to the next in terms of your, self-worth and self-esteem, and, just the sense of who you are and how great that really is. And it isn't something to say that it's, an egotistical. It's not from an egotistical place. It's from a place of, recognizing who you are, what you are, like as humans, our capacity, your power, your value, what you're capable of doing, with your mind, with your intention, like just all of these sorts of things. And I feel like, so there's the disconnect. There's like this severing. You could see these ropes that are being, pulled apart, that are almost, and it's like it's been in the works for a while, right? Like this has been in the works for a while, and now it's at a point where there's only like a couple hairs, or there's a couple threads that are holding it together. And so these last few pieces, I was going to say peaches, these last two pieces, are like, it's like hanging on by a thread. And so it doesn't feel good as it's breaking apart. It's like you're getting this energy or this sense of like, I'm not in alignment here. This is not for me. Sort of feeling, and it feels bad and it feels negative. But I don't think that the other side of that, whether it's a person or a place or a situation, because it could be, you know how you could have worked somewhere for the longest time, you could have been around someone for the longest time, and everything seemed fine, but now you're awakening to the realization that it's not fine, it's not okay. You're picking up on other things that you just don't feel settled there, and so that's the reason why. It's because you're being called to. I'm saying heal because I feel like that's the first step to it, because this is like a step by step process, because you have to, like, because when you're on this continuum, right? Because with worthiness, I feel like, how they say you get what you believe that you're worth, right, in life, and so you're on this, it's like you're on this ladder going up this path, and as you heal, you're unlocking more and more and more and more, because you're realizing that you're worth more and more and more and more, and so you're able to receive more and more and more and more, and it's something that like builds, right, and this is like part of something that you're going to create down the road. So I'm getting glimpses in this reading of healing, of learning, expanding, creating, uniqueness, being called to something unique, um, and then also a strong sense of this is going to be led through your intuition, right? This whole process, this whole journey with this high priestess, I'm getting that with this unicorn, and it's the thing on its third eye. I'm getting that. That's also another reason why this healing, and healing is slow, has to take place, because this is from a mediumship deck, right? Self-healing is an extremely important daily routine in your development as a medium. So for some of you guys, you guys are beginning stages of this mediumship, intuitive psychic abilities, or maybe that isn't going to be the primary focus, but it's something that is going to lead you on your path and your journey, right? And it's going to give you the action, or like give you the courage to take action, right? Because your intuition and your instincts are going to be a lot more clear. So self-healing is an important daily routine in your development as a medium. When practicing mediumship, you need to be in your best heart-centered space to create a clear, authentic communication with spirit. So yeah. So anyways, that is the negative energy that you're picking up on more. This isn't about the negative energy. This is just more about the why, and just to have a better understanding of it. And so that's how the reading came out. So that's what Spirit wants you to know, about this experience that you're having, these vibes of negative and bad energy that you're picking up on, and what they are meant to, or what it is, going on, I guess, behind the scenes of it. So that's your reading, group 1. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you liked it, please leave me a like, subscribe to see more videos. I will see you guys soon. Take care. Best of luck. Bye. Okay, hi, group 2. Those of you who picked this black Tourmaline and this Live Out Loud card, this is your reading on the bad or negative energy that you're picking up on around you, and more information about what that's all about. So, okay, so for you guys, I'm getting that, I'm just getting like different kind of messages here, and I'm just trying to think of like how to make sense of presenting it. Okay, so with the bad and the negative energy, I feel like it's guiding you. It's guiding you away, guiding you out of, it's just guiding you away, right? It's kind of like when we don't like something, when we don't like the feeling of something, when we feel pain, we we decide not to do that again. It's like if you get burned, don't keep touching the stove, right? Um, and it also propels us to face our fears as well, right? When we don't like how one thing feels. So here we have denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I place it with the insight of awareness. Like I'm getting that to mean, I just lost my thought. And now I'm being pulled to it's up to you in reverse. And then now I'm being brought to live out loud and rose without thorns. So it's up to you how you want to live with your life, right? But I think that with this negative energy that you feel around you, it's trying to guide you away from, like I don't want to say things you don't want. And here we have enigma, elusive, sensitive, right? And this is like the energy that is like so strong in this reading as well. Is like there's something of an enigma that is hard to quite capture or put your fingers on or understand. And I think that maybe this is your energy that I'm picking up on, and it's like translating into this reading as well, where it's like you think you have it and then you lose the thought. You think you understand it and then that's not quite what it is. Like that sort of feeling. But anyway, I'm just going to start with the part that I feel like I'm getting the strongest message from, which is a rose without thorns and live out loud. And so even though this says a rose without thorns, I'm thinking of the saying of like, there are no roses without thorns. So it's the complete opposite. So it's the thing of roses are beautiful, but they have thorns for the most part. I mean, there probably are some exceptions of some roses without thorns, but and then the same thing applies for live out loud. Like it's just really this is a card of expression, expressing who you are, expressing yourself in the ways that you want, maybe in the way that you dress, the way that you communicate, the things that you do, living your life the way that you want it to do, and the way that you wish to do it, so that you're being who you are on the outside, that you are on the inside, and that's what I'm getting with this. True abundance is an inside job, right? And just really bringing that to the forefront. But with that, I'm getting that there is going to be this other side to it where, some people aren't going to like if you're living out loud. They might not like the version of who they might not, I was going to say the version of who you are. And then denial. I don't know, I just get this feeling of like people are going to not like you regardless if it's a version of who you are or if you're being your true self. So might as well be joyful, right? Be happy, do things that express who you are. Strive for the things that you want, that you wish for, because I'm getting this energy of something of being in denial, and it's like the denial is coming from. It's like having an issue. I'm just getting like this thing of like people are not going to like you regardless of whether you're being yourself or whether you're being like a version of yourself. There's always going to be a segment of people who don't like you. And there's always going to be a negative side to things with this. Something beautiful like a rose has thorns, right? It's still something beautiful and something to be admired, but there's a defense mechanism. There's that side of it having thorns. Yeah, this is definitely like a difficult one. I almost feel like this energy is like it's like coming from you, like and I'm getting that with denial and looking at this black tourmaline. You know, and with it being an inside job, abundance being an inside job, I'm getting that there's something that's coming from within you. Um, and again, I'm getting this elusive and this enigma and this unknown. And when I was shuffling these cards and laying them out, I was thinking about, like, because these are mantis, like these look like praying mantis, these mantis beings. And I don't know, for whatever reason, like I was thinking about how, this is back in the day. You'd hear philosophers talking about, they would debate, right, about, whether you should eat meat or not, or, this is like PETA back in the 2000s or something, right? And they would say, well, animals don't have feelings, they're not sentient beings, or they don't have intelligence, therefore we should eat them. They would have like these debates about if animals are sentient or not. And I remember just thinking, like, back then, as a kid, like, like, that's really stupid. Like, obviously they have feelings. Obviously, this is so random and off topic. Obviously they have feelings. Obviously, like, it was like, humans, obviously. And then I started thinking about this owl that I saw on TikTok. It was the cutest freaking owl. And you saw him running in a room, and like he just like he was like surprised, and he wanted to like come and see something. So you'd see him just like he just slid in the room, and then it was so cute. And then in another video, he was like trying to be really quiet and like tiptoe and like see what was going on. And I'm like, obviously they're sentient. Obviously they have feelings. Obviously they're intelligent. They know when they need to creep around. They know when they're surprised by a noise and they want to come see what's going on. It was a baby owl. And but like humans, like we were in such denial, and I don't know if we were actually in denial or if it's like a weapon. I wanted to say weaponized incompetence, but it's like when we're just conveniently in denial, so then we don't have to face the fact that of what our actions actually have been, kind of thing. And anyways, this ties into your reading somehow, because I'm getting that with this denial card. It's like there's some sort of denial that you're it's an elusive thing. It's hard to pinpoint what it is, right? It's hard to pinpoint, but it ties into this bad and this negative energy that you are picking up on. I think it has to do with you, and it has to do with the fact that I want to say that it has to do with being yourself, right? Expressing yourself, being yourself, having a right to, here it says your joy, your wishes, your wants, like that is how you are going to feel truly abundant and happy, and really feel good about yourself, right? This negative, bad energy vibe that you're picking up on just simply has to do with the fact that not everybody is going to like, not everyone likes the smell of roses. Not everyone likes the smell of perfumes, even though they smell good. There's people who will say that they're allergic. There's people who just don't even like the smell of perfume. I worked at a place where, you're not allowed to have any sort of fragrances at all. Even in washrooms where it would literally smell like shit. They weren't allowed to put any air freshener, anything like that. So some people prefer the smell of shit over perfume or roses. So it's like that type of thing. And so long as you're happy on the inside, I feel like you will not be having this bad or negative energy that you're like that's like elusively there and not there. It's like this thing, that you can't quite pinpoint what it is, right? Because it's an inside job. Like there's something where you'll be more accepting of maybe this impacts you, but it's not impacting you because of somebody else. I feel like it's impacting you. I need sage. It's impacting you. I hope I'm making sense to you guys, right? Because I'm running low on sage. I'm getting it's up to you. Pick your battles. Pick your poison. Do you want people not liking you for being you? Or do you want them not to like you for being someone else? That's essentially what I'm getting. And it's going to be hard to pinpoint what this bad negative vibe is, unless you're living your authentic self. That's what I'm getting with the rose. I know it's like, the rose. I'm thinking of someone authentic, someone, like a mystic, someone who is so in touch with their inner selves, and really just sort of brings that to the forefront. And I feel like it's going to continue to be tied up. You're going to continue to be like feeling this off balance, tied up sort of energy where you're unable to pinpoint what it is that is really this elusive feeling of something not so good, until you start to look on the inside and start to express like, who you truly are, because then that's when you are going to find peace in that, and then it'll be okay, right? Like, I feel like you cannot deny certain parts of you out of fear, out of fear. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, that is the reading. I hope it was helpful. It felt very elusive and hard to pinpoint. But I know that whoever's meant to hear it heard it, and I'm also getting celebrate. Like, some of you guys need to celebrate. I just show compliments sincerely and liberally. Some of you need to celebrate. There's a lot to be celebrated. Yes. Okay. All right, guys. If you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Mwah. Bye. Okay, hi, group 3. Those of you who picked this Polychrome Jasper and masks, this is your reading on the bad or negative energy that you're picking up on, and this is more information about it. Okay, so the first thing that I'm being drawn to is this: your true tribe can't show up until you do. How can you show more of the real you? So yeah, so I'm getting that, and I'm also getting too that things are like moving in very, very quickly. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming in very fast, and I think what's coming in fast is like your intuition. Your intuition on what you're supposed to be doing is coming in very quickly. It's like you're getting information from like a higher source. I'm getting this from this hummingbirds of what you're supposed to be doing, and I'm getting that with this what is this called? Is it like a dowsing like crystal or wand? You're going in the right direction, and it's in reverse, right? So with it being in reverse, I feel like it hasn't quite, it's still, it's like hidden. Like, okay, how do I say? Because I'm seeing the moon, right? And this is right under the sun in reverse. So I'm getting like, you're getting the direction to go in, and it's coming in very quickly and fast for you, your intuition, but it's on a very subconscious level. Like, the way that I see it is when we get information, it comes in, like the download comes in through our subconscious. Like, it's in a way that isn't clear and direct and out there. It's not out in the open, like how I would describe like the sun card to be, as opposed to the moon. It's something that comes in sort of mysteriously, maybe in your sleep, maybe it's in this indirect, mysterious, intuitive way. And so with this 8 of Wands, I feel like it's coming in very quickly, or it's hit you very quickly. And so that's what maybe feels very unpleasant or unpleasant about it, because it's like something that's like sitting there, and it's kind of dark, it's mysterious, maybe it's a bit elusive, it's unknown. You see here too, this is actually a good depiction of what I'm talking about, and it's again the higher realms. Like, you see this looking like an angel right here, and the moon And I'm seeing this transferring to the sun, like information from the moon, from your subconscious, transferring into your conscious mind. So, man, and I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, so, oh my God. So this is like, and with the seven of water, like, I'm just getting this as something that, oh, a complex decision that need to do research, stop procrastinating. So I'm just getting this bad negative energy as something that's like feels very uncomfortable. Something that feels, and it's because it's unclear, right? It's this seven of water. Seven of Cups is a card of like options or illusions, delusions. Something that's like it's still not set out in stone. It's still in the, I want to say, conception stage. It's like it hasn't materialized, but it certainly has something to do with you, because when we think of the moon, when we think of our, say, our moon sign or our sun sign or whatever, or just thinking about the moon and the sun, um, I think the moon is a representation of, our shadow self. Like I'm thinking of, what's that guy's name? Not Freud. The other one. My God. I can't remember his name right now. Anyways, whatever. When I'm thinking of the moon, I'm thinking of like our inner selves, like our subconscious mind, um, our inner feelings and the parts that are more hidden about us. And then the sun is more like the outward personality, the expression that we put out into the world. Um, and so I feel like with this bad negative energy, it has to do with there being something being masked, right? Like with this moon and literally this mask card, it's like there's something being masked from the outside, from the outside world, right? Um, and I know with this, I'm getting like something wants to push through, something wants to express itself. I'm getting the image of when you see concrete and like how sometimes you'll see grass. Like I have some pieces of grass right here. When you see grass or like a plant and there's concrete and there's cracks in the concrete and the grass is growing up through it, and it's like it's so determined to grow that it's going to grow through the concrete. I feel like that's the energy that I'm picking up on, of there's something so strong and so determined to grow and to see the light of day, or that wants to grow towards the sun, that's within you, that is you. That's like the real you that wants to come out, and it wants to come out to play, and it wants to come out to create. It wants to come out to expand. It's like I'm almost getting it as I want to say DNA. When things multiply. I don't even know. This sounds so weird, but I'm just gonna say it. Something about DNA and something like replicating, multiplying. To create something. Like there's such like building your world, creation, expansion, networking, and here we have, this is like the bee lady, um, the number 33 as well. Like something, like, it's like spiritual, something on a very spiritual DNA, um, consciousness. I don't even know the right words to use for it. It's something that's determined to grow and determined to create, and it's going to do it. And it's going to do it through the concrete if it has to, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. I feel like if you're going to resist or you're going to hold something back from growing, it's like, and it's going to push through and grow through anyway, and you're not giving it the space to breathe or to come out, it's going to be uncomfortable for you too. It's like holding something down with your hand. Like, what is an example? Like, say I'm trying to squeeze something. Like, say I have this and it's something that's growing, and I'm trying to squeeze it and squeeze it and say, no, you're not coming out. You're not coming out. You're gonna stay in there. You're trying to lock the door, or on someone, and you have to push your whole body weight up against it. Like, it's gonna hurt. Like, even right now, I'm squeezing like for dear life. When I open my palm, it hurts. It kind of hurts. It hurts that I'm squeezing it. It hurts that I'm trying to fight it. It hurts that I'm trying to push it back if I'm trying to push a door, or I'm trying to fight someone or resist someone, because it's almost like there's two parts of you, right? And I'm getting, or maybe there's multiple with these masks, right? And there's some parts that really want to come out and, and want to see the light of day. Because they have some stuff to create. They have some stuff to do. Here we have depth. May you immerse and go deeper. And it's interesting too, because here there's something with a community. There's something very community based about this as well, because here it's like your tribe can't show up until you do, right? And here with the bees and building your world, creation, expansion, networking, bees, right? Here with depths, you have the school of fish. It's a community of fish, and there's depth. And there's weight, and that's what I'm saying with something deeper, more spiritual. There's depth and weight, with whatever is wanting to be created, or wanting to come out and come see the light of day, wanting to manifest, really. And so there's this negative, bad energy feeling, or negative energy feeling. It's coming from something piercing. I feel like something's piercing through. Yeah, it's almost like I just got somebody, like a baby teething or something with it's painful, right? Like, it's painful when something's coming through. What else is painful like that I'm thinking of? When something's poking through the barrier, the surface, and it's starting to grow through something, like through the concrete. When the butterfly's coming out of the cocoon. Something like that, right? Here we have beauty. May you perceive nature's artistry afresh. I don't know. I'm tying this with your true tribe can't see you. Um, they cannot see you, and I'm tying it with this beauty card, and then something with your perception. And I'm getting this. I'm starting to think of. I don't know why, but I used to watch America's Next Top Model back in the day, and it's really reminding me of, sometimes the people who would be picked, they look very unique and different, right? And sometimes you'd hear stories of women who turn out to be models or something, saying that, like, they have some unique attribute about themselves, and they grow up despising it about themselves because they were picked on about it, or it made them really stand out. Like, if you had like big eyes, or you were really tall or really skinny, or some attribute that is very different or deviates from the standard, like, and it's something that you've just been grown to dislike about yourself, because we all want to blend in and fit in and be, amongst our peers, and be like others, especially when we're younger. And anything that makes us stand out, like, you kind of grow to dislike it about yourself. In most cases, I mean, a lot of times that's what happens. And I feel like with this beauty card is like, may you perceive nature's artistry afresh, like, have a new perspective on, and expand your awareness, your mindset on, like, the various ways of looking at something, or and it's like something about yourself, like, I'm getting, because it's even with this moon, I'm like thinking it's like there's something that you don't like. I don't know, something that's healing, something that has to transform, or something like that, in order for this part of you, or something that has to come through and that come to the surface. That's what I'm getting for this reading, and I really hope that you guys got the message for what it is. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. So this is what this negative experience, it has to do with something wanting to pierce through. Something wanting to pierce through into to the light, to and it has to do with you. It has to do with some aspect in your shadow or in your subconscious. Some new information that you may have gotten subconsciously, intuitively, maybe in the dream state. I don't know. Something that wants to be birthed, something that wants to be brought to the light. So, anyways, I'm not going to keep rambling. That is your reading. I hope it was helpful. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I would love to hear from you guys. Take care. Mwah. I love you. Bye. Okay, hi, group 4. I was about to say group 3. Check out group 3 if you feel called to check it out. But group 4, those of you who picked the I was going to say Septemberian, like September. I don't know, maybe September. Ooh, September is going to be a significant month. And I'll bring that back up after. Hopefully I'll remember. But who picked the Septarian stone and pleasure, this is your reading on the bad or negative energy that you're picking up on. So we're going to get some more information about that. And so there's a lot of stuff going on in this reading. So we have expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. I was going to say new moon in September. So this is in reverse. So it's something that hasn't, it's something that's coming up. And so for some of you guys, I'm getting this in September. If you are watching it around now, I don't know. September is a significant month. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, so with the negative or bad energy that you're feeling, I feel like for you guys, I want to come out and say that this is definitely a blessing, right? It's a blessing. This is something good. And I just heard no mud, no lotus, right? It's one of those things where, the good comes with the bad, but there's something that's going to be overflowing and changing, Okay, let me explain what I mean by that. So here we have Phoenix and power, fire activations being creative and spiritual freedom, right? And we have the 9th house. And so I'm getting this as, and this is just like, these are upcoming, right? This goes with this new moon eclipse, 9th house in reverse, being, the house of, Sagittarius. And when I think of Sagittarius, I'm thinking of like higher levels of learning, philosophies, just like this, the deeper meanings, the deeper questions of life, of who we are, of whatever it is, excuse me, whatever it is. I think that there's going to be some massive change with Phoenix, with this new moon eclipse, new beginning, new change, where with the Phoenix I think of stuff that's being transmuted, right? Because it's like it's born out of the ashes of the fire. So there's something that's burning, something that has to be released, transmuted, and it like rises like out of our, I'm thinking of like our chakra system, like our sacral, our solar plex, our, and it being just like a big change, a big transmutation. And it's also, in how we believe, what we think. And so I'm seeing the yellow and I'm feeling the sun, and this being very positive and being a blessing. But when I look at these lily pads, I'm seeing them as something that grow in the mud, or there being some type of struggle, and or it's a lotus, to me it's like a lotus, so it's like, reminds me of that book, No Mud, No Lotus. And so yeah, so like, I feel like there's things that are being brought to you that like are out of your control. And again, this is something very spiritual too, because I'm getting the number 11, which is a very spiritual life path number. It's a master number. And I feel too like, oh, here's another thing I'm getting too, is with this bad and negative energy, like I'm getting it to be things that like maybe are out of your control, right? Because here, owl, detach your emotions from situations that you cannot control. Okay, wow. I wasn't expecting it to say it like that. But yeah, it's about things that like are out of your control. But then there's an element when I'm talking about the number 11 and being this like spiritual um change. And when I say spiritual, I don't necessarily mean your religion or your beliefs, but it's like a complete change of your spirit. Which can include your philosophies, your beliefs, your ideas, and just this rebirth of like who you are, just the energy that you carry, like all of that stuff. But there's going to be elements of things that you cannot control because I'm getting this energy of like the tower and of these unexpected changes, this crumbling of certain things, this removal, and then creating space. Like when you look at this, it's like it's like the darkness, the mystery, like there being like a void for things to later on grow out from. Um, so with this owl card, detach your emotions from situations that you cannot control, and it's right below this pleasure card, which to me is like, you know, and I'm making a triangle like this too, is focusing on pleasure too. What is this? Oh, okay. So this is the hand of Fatima here. I just noticed it. Um, and it's like, I think too, with this Phoenix card, because when we're talking about the sacral and the solar plex and pleasure, right? Like with the sacral chakra, is like, you know, sometimes when there's blockages in our sacral chakra, it's our creativity. It's our like our fire. I'm seeing a fire like in that like the pit of our stomach. It's our sexuality, it's our enjoyment, it's our pleasure center, all of those things, right? And so, like, when you detach your emotions from the situations you can't control and focus on what brings you joy, what brings you pleasure, I think it's gonna have, and that includes sexual as well, like I'm gonna say that, but again, pray about it. I pray before I pay, right? So this is something that you have to pray about, the things that you decide to do, whether it's a yes or no. And But yeah, I'm getting like let your guard down with the Seven of Wands in reverse. It's like let your guard down, let things happen, let things flow as they are. um you know and I feel like I'm going off of topic, but like it is what it is, and let the things that you cannot control and the things that fall apart, let them fall apart. But again, it's like I have to say, no mud, no lotus. Like there is going to be difficulties and negative, quote unquote, bad experiences or energies that you are going to have to go through to get through this. But it's something very powerful that's coming, and it's like you're being encouraged to focus on what brings you pleasure, and and I feel like that's also going to lead you in expanding your mind. I'm thinking of like Aleister Crowley. He created like the Thoth, whatever deck of cards, tarot cards, and I was reading. There's a book that he has like where he talks about like how the cards are to be used, and like I'm in the process of reading it. It's kind of a tough read, but like I remember reading up on his life and how people saw him as like I guess he's like one of those guys that like you either can admire him or think that he's like a low life sort of degenerate, like because I've read pretty bad things about him. And I think a big part of that is because he was so big on like the pleasure aspect. I think he tried to come up with his own like religion or spiritual practice or whatever. And it was very much, let me burn some sage. I don't know why. But it was very much focused on something with pleasure. Like, don't quote me on it. But he came up with his own stuff, and, you know, uh, okay, I'm being told, like, not to keep talking about that. But anyway, so I'm getting, like, with this bad or negative energy, um, and it being, like, sort of, like, I don't know, you, like, going to be transmuting, this is like the stuff that I feel like it's like the raw material that is going to be partly it's things that you cannot control and that are going to be removed, to create space for this big powerful like change and shift. But then the other part is, it's like the material, that's going to be used to create something else. Because I'm feeling like, how they say energy cannot be created or destroyed, it could only be like changed from one form to another. And I feel like this is like the raw material that's going to be used to create something, to change something, to transmute it. And it's like, if you want a fire, if you have a fireplace, and you want a fire, you have to burn logs, right? Or you might have to cut down a tree, or you might have to, whatever, right? But it needs the raw materials, and I feel like this negative or this bad energy is something like I'm seeing it like it is the perfect material to be used to create this new thing. I feel like, when you take a lower, I don't want to say, well, I'll just say whatever comes, is when you take a lower vibrational thing and you transmute it to something higher. I feel like that is like where we're at. Like that is what the universe, that's what the earth is doing right now. It's like taking, something of a lower quality. I just heard autophagy. So when, for those of you guys who water fast or who know about it, or maybe some of you guys don't, autophagy is when you fast, right? And you could do it for like a water fast, whatever, or you can do it intermittent fasting. I think if your body goes a certain amount of hours without eating food, it starts to take, its own cells. And the not so good ones, right? So people do this if they have infections, if they have cancer, if they have diseases, diabetes, or anything, problematic, or, unhealthy. And the body will start to break down those, rogue or bad cells or whatever, and use it to, you know to function, or to build something else, or to use it as food, or like it will take like the bad cells first, the ones that we don't want. So people will fast for that reason, right? And so I'm getting that with this transmutation thing, is like this energy that is like, sometimes it's like, here's another example. You know how, um oh my god, this is a bad example, but I feel bad. Like, I remember watching this video about these, this is like animal rights type stuff, right? I think I saw it through PETA or something. There's these animals that, I forget what type of animal they are, but they keep them in China. It's in these cages, these tiny small cages, and they have to keep them in there because, and they keep them there for like years and years and years until they get big enough, and then they kill them, and they're like a delicacy, and then you can sell them for a very, very high price, right? And they're worth so much, but they have to be kept in there because of, like, their body produces a certain, like, I don't know what it's called, like chemical, when they're, I don't know, in captivity, or when they're stressed out, that they say makes them taste better, right? The same thing with, oysters. Like, they have to be under stress to produce the pearl. So this is like the same type of thing I'm talking about with this bad or this negative energy that you're picking up on. It's stuff that like has to be absorbed in order to produce something else. So that's what I'm getting. But, there is this encouragement, to also, find joy and find pleasure, because that is another element in creating and transmuting, and, doing what the phoenix does, and, what the eclipses do is to initiate these powerful changes, that take place, and then ultimately, these blessings that come in, and this major change that has to do with, your philosophy, your state, your overall, I want to say, I don't ideologies, but your spiritual aspect, you know. And when I say spiritual, like I said, it's not just, about religion. It's your spirit. Um, you know, yeah. So I dish out compliments sincerely and liberally. And I guess that's another thing um, that I feel like is tied to pleasure and is tied to these hardships and focusing on the things that you can control. So anyway, so that's what this bad or negative energy that you're picking up on is. Um, it's just like the raw material for this activation or these major changes that are coming in, and it's like it needs, like, the raw material needs to be there. So I hope I explained that well enough, because this is a very spiritual, I guess, understanding of it, or a message that's coming through. I hope you guys weren't looking for something literal. What comes, so it is what it is. If you guys are a life path 11, then you know then I guess this message would definitely be for you. But even if you're not and you're just at that stage, it's like we all go through different like cycles, right? We all go through different cycles. So yeah. So this is something coming up in the future. So like I said, with these cards, I started off with saying September. So September is like July, August, September, about 3 months from now. So maybe it's 3 months from when you see this reading, or it's September. I don't know, whatever. Or the next new moon eclipse, maybe. I don't know when that is. But yeah, but anyway, guys, that is your reading. I will leave it at that. I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a comment, a like, subscribe to see more videos, and I will see you guys soon in the next video. Take care.